Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Barbara starts this hour in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hi, Barbara. How are you?
I am well.
Good. How can we help?
I need some advice on how to move forward with the collections company. I had a roof put on, and I got several estimates done, and I got down to making a decision between two different ones. And the insurance company kind of stonewalled on one because they came in like $12,000 more than the other company. So the insurance company told me that, well, why would I pay that much more to have a roof put on when I have a reputable company here that will do it? So when I called this company A that I was going with someone else, he became very angry and belligerent and sent me an invoice for $697 for the services he had provided, although even if you go to his website, it says that he gives free estimates. So he sent it to collections, and they keep calling me about it. Mm-hmm. I just need to know how to move forward with that. Now, there is one caveat here. One time when we were after the insurance company stonewalled on him, he asked me to sign this DocuSign. And he told me by word of mouth, I don't have any written evidence of it, that this does not obligate you to anything. It just allows me to continue to try and negotiate with the company, insurance company. And he said, I do this all the time. I know I can get them to meet my price. So I signed it, which was not a wise thing to do. But it pretty much said that the agreement was between the homeowner and him, his company, and that in exchange for his services provided, that I would agree to enter into a formal building contract with them, and that...
Does it say anything about a fee for the estimate?
It does.
Okay. What does it say?
Well, no, not for the estimate, but he does say that if I fail to enter into a formal building contract within 30 days of agreement with the insurance company, that there would be a cancellation fee for expenses incurred during the claim scope of the claim.
Okay. Well, you have two options.
So that's what I signed.
You have two options.
Okay.
Option number one, I was stupid for signing something. It cost me $695. Because you're probably going to lose this because you were stupid for signing that. I've done stupid too, so you and me are on the same team, okay? I'm not picking on you, but I mean, you said you shouldn't have signed that. I'm saying you shouldn't have signed that. I think it cost you $695 when you signed that without reading it, without half-butt thinking about it. Yeah. So that's one way. You can just pay them the money and call it a day and say, well, this guy's a dadgum shyster, and I wasn't real smart when I signed this. It cost me a stupid tax of $695. Or you can call an attorney and take this document to them and pay the attorney $250 or $500 to scare the pants off this guy and threaten to countersue him for his shyster activities, and if they don't pull the claim back. You can go either way. Neither one would be really wrong morally or ethically, but the attorney might tell you if he does. All I'm doing with the attorney there is what's known as a bluff, because you're not going to sue somebody over $695. He's not going to sue you over $695, but you're not going to get this stupid thing off your collections until you get rid of it and get it off your collections, either by him removing it or you paying it. So
a guy like this, so this is not his first time doing this.
No, he's a butt, no question about it, and. What I would do is jump on and write some reviews online. You could also call him and say, I'm going to write reviews about your company everywhere, about what a crook you are, and then I'm going to pay the $695, but I'm going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars because you're my new hobby.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do that. That might be fun because that's really what's going on. But I mean, but I've done stuff like this. You don't have to look at something. You agree to it, and stinking DocuSign, there you go.
Man.
So I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I'm guessing, though, that you probably, on a technicality, that technicality being you signed this, you probably lost that money. But you could, you can run the guy up a rail. How much trouble you want to put into $700? It's up to you.
It's an energy question. You want to know what, though, Dave? I probably wouldn't go to the attorney, only because I bet this guy's done this so many times, he would know that that's a bluff.
Maybe.
And she might end up spending
occasionally
the money,
you run into somebody like me and it's not a bluff. So
I would not want to run into Dave on the other end of this.
Burn it to ground just to prove the point, because occasionally I just get redneck about it, But yeah, I mean, but honestly, you could cost him a lot more than $695. The social media and Yelp reviews and anything else you can do, jump all around his website. For $695, I could hire a web guy to just absolutely make a hobby out of him.
Ooh, come on now, that's what I'm talking about.
It's if I'm gonna pay the guy, it's gonna cost him. Yeah, I'm gonna have a little fun with it after all. But also, note to self. When I do something stupid and it costs me money, I call that stupid tax. And Barbara, Dave Ramsey's paid a lot of stupid tax. That's why I'm qualified to do this show, because I've done a lot of stupid butt stuff. Hopefully I can keep y'all from doing it. And signing stuff you don't have to look at, that's in the category. I've done it too, though. I've done it too. It burns you, because it's some little minor thing like that. You don't think anything about it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and the thing is, when it's vague like that, when it says you may be on the hook for, cancellation fees or what, and there's no actual dollar amount.
So why am I having to sign this to get you to do an estimate on a freaking roof?
Yeah, no,
really,
it's too much.
It's not like rocket surgery here. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. I mean, we've all done it, and
yeah.
You said it earlier, and that's a good phrase. How much energy do you really want to put into something like this? And I just have to pick. Occasionally, I pick one, burn it to the ground, and the rest of them, I just stroke a check and forget it and go on, and just decide which one you want to burn to the ground.
Yeah.
If you're angry enough about it, burn it to the ground. I mean, make a big deal out of it.
You know what I'm going to do?
It can cost him $60,000 or $80,000.
I need to start having those guys sign my document. Because I had an estimation the other night. The guy was supposed to come out, never came. I'm like, it's interesting how this story flips.
Well, and they say stuff like, well, it's our policy. And I always go, it's strange. I've got a policy too.
Yeah, my policy.
And my policy is I don't sign crap like this.
Mm-hmm. Or my policy is if you waste my time, you owe me. Like, can we flip it on the other side for once?
Yeah. I talked to a guy, he sat in the doctor's office 2 hours past his appointment time, waiting on the doctor. So he sent the doctor a bill.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, you're going to use up my time. I mean,
okay, my time's valuable too.
Arrogant twerp. I'm sitting here trying to give you too much money. Good gosh. That's the deal. You just got to decide how you want to play this. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Visit Blinds.com to get up to 40% off. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Graham is with us in Knoxville. Hey, Graham, how are you?
I'm doing well, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Me and my fiance are getting married next June, and we've been bouncing around the idea of buying a home versus renting. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Okay. I would not buy until you're married, for sure. Is that what you're talking about?
Okay. Yeah, we were thinking, right around when we're getting married next June.
Yeah.
Do you guys have will you have debt together?
We will have very little debt. She has a student loan for about $7,000. We've saved up a pretty good bit going into our marriage and plan on combining our finances and following, a lot of your instruction on that.
So you pay off the debt, you'd have an emergency fund, plus you'd have a down payment.
Yes.
Okay. Then
Yeah,
according to the baby steps and what we teach, you would be in a position to buy a home. Let me tell you an idea to think about, okay? And it's not a hard and fast. I wouldn't call you stupid if you didn't do it or something like that. Mm-hmm. But here's an idea to think about. I think, because I'm old and I've seen a lot, that 1 year after you're married, you will pick a different house than 1 month after you're married. Because I think you will learn a lot about each other during that year. And I always joke and say it takes about a year of marriage to know how close to your mother-in-law to buy. But that's the kind, you get to know each other. I would rather relationally you spend the first year of your marriage, all of your energy on your relationship, not on hanging curtains and picking wallpaper. Mm-hmm. And for God's sakes, doing a renovation. Okay? So, I mean, I love the idea of the house not being the purchase, the move, not being an emotional, relational drain. Instead, you all just get really comfortable with each other and pile up a big old stack of cash. And the following spring, buy a house. I like that. And it comes from the Old Testament biblical story in 2 Samuel that the young warriors in Israel in those days were not allowed to go to battle in the first year of marriage. They had to stay home and take care of the family. They were not allowed to go to battle until they'd been married at least a year. And so that, it's a bit symbolic or metaphorical, if you will, and it's not something that you would be completely unwise and stupid and foolish and all that. No, It's none of that. I just think you're going to make a different decision a year later.
I absolutely agree with that. And you've known each other. You get to know each other a little bit better by then.
We've been dating 6 years. Yeah, you ain't been living together.
It's different.
I mean, you've not been married together. You might have been living together. I don't know what you're doing, but
but it's different.
Yeah, it's a different deal, man. Mm-hmm. And it's not that dramatic, really, but it's subtle.
Yeah.
And the thing the thing that makes you do is it makes you push back against the whole culture that's yelling at you, buy a house, buy a house, buy a house. Oh, renting is throwing your money away. Buy a house, buy a house, buy a house. Oh, renters are going to hell. Buy a house, buy a house. People are just go crazy. They're like a beagle chasing a rabbit, man. And it's just, it's okay to have a little bit of patience. Home ownership is a great plan. Mm-hmm. Owning a home and getting it paid off is a great financial wealth building plan. But everybody doesn't have to buy a house right now. Just calm your butt down. You know, it's like,
And the longer you wait, the more you'll have more money to put down on it.
Yeah.
So there's that.
And who knows what the interest rates will do during that time? Might be fun.
It might. Oh, that's true. Or are you trying to make a call here, Dave? Are you calling something?
Nope.
Okay, just checking.
I'm just saying we'll be after an election at that point, and we'll see what's happening.
I didn't know if you were seeing your shadow or what.
That happens around here a lot because, I've seen things. You get old things circle back around. If you keep the suit coat long enough, it comes back in style. You know. So, all right, here we go. JT is in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Hi, JT. How are you?
Dave and Jade, how's it going?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So I'm about to be at a point where I'm completely out of debt. I've been working on it the last 2 years, and I'm about to hit zero.
Hey, way to go.
My question is it is it foolish to go back into debt?
Yes.
To start a business?
Yes.
You just called the Ramsey Show, JT.
I know.
You walked into the bear cave, and that's the bear if it was hungry.
You already know the answer, JT.
Straightforward advice.
What's the business?
My trade or work is I'm a 401k consultant. I do a risk compliance.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's kind of start my own firm, and it's a lot to try to just bankroll.
Why? Why? What do you got to bankroll?
That's what I'm wondering.
Well,
I ought to cash flow you day one.
Well, I mean, everything from, software, agreements, all sorts of stuff.
Wait a minute. For what?
You got to have customers first.
Well, I mean, I've not so much worried about that part of getting everything started.
Yeah, but you're going too fast.
What are you getting started?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you don't have any money?
Well, I mean, not enough to get this thing going.
Well, what do you think it takes to get this going? Why have you decided? What you're describing to me, you need a computer and some sweat.
Okay. And a customer.
Yeah, or 6.
Well, that's the thing, for what I'm doing, I'd be whale hunting in a canoe, and I need some stuff to be able to do such things.
Okay, you are not ready to open a business and leave your job when you have absolutely no customers. Whale hunting in a canoe means that you don't have a clue where your customers are coming from. You're not ready to open a business, and it has nothing to do with a loan. Mm-hmm. You need some customers on the hook.
Well, the first thing I do, I would take my current job and ask that they 1099 me, and I would contract all the work that I'm doing right now and then go look for my own bigger clients. So I have an idea for cash flow. Okay, so now we're eating. Now, why are we whale hunting in a canoe? Well, we got to go after big fish to eat big, right?
Well, I think you're...
No, I mean, rabbits are more plentiful. Let's kill some of those and eat.
I think you're missing the beauty of the type of business that you're starting, which is this is a business you can start with little to no overhead.
And little to no cash.
Yeah.
You need enough to eat on, but I don't want you floating in a canoe looking for a whale starving to death because you didn't have any plan or any background. But if you got a plan for cash flow day one on the 1099 side, then and you think they'll do that, what's the probability of them doing that? I think so, because I'd be taking on a lot of my, I'd get my own insurance and stuff like that. Okay. This is so vague, and you have not pro forma'd this out. The business you're in demands that you do a better job of pro forming than you have done so far. This is a group of vague generalities, and I'm going to go borrow money. No, you don't need to borrow money. You need to organically cash flow this little service-oriented business, and you're going to be just fine. And you need to put together a business plan and process that has the probability of you being able to eat and cover the cost of basic software services. But there's no big $500,000 or $50,000 or $20,000 outlay for you to come out of the ground being a consultant.
Yeah. I think, Dave, people think if you build it, they'll come. And I think it's the opposite. You've got to go get them and then build it while they're coming. If you build it, they will come. In the movie world is called the field of dreams. Yep. In the business world is called a field of nightmares. So you don't want to do that. You need to have I tell our guys all the time, hey, elephant hunting is great, but they're a lot more rare than rabbits. You can eat really good on rabbits. Okay. There's lots of rabbits. Go get the rabbits, and occasionally you stumble into an elephant, then that's extra. But let's go get the rabbits. Let's get a business model that churns cash here. Yeah. Stack some cash. You're fine, JT. Do not borrow into the vagueness that you are describing us. You're really going to make a mess. Yeah. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, being free to make your own medical decisions is a big deal these days. Christian Healthcare Ministries gives members the freedom to choose the doctors and providers they want without the frustration of worrying about networks and with no waiting period to join. It's a membership-based nonprofit ministry where hundreds of thousands of Christians share funds to pay for and pray for each other's medical bills. For over 40 years, CHM has helped families living across all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Check out more today at chministries.org/budget.
Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Aaron and Melissa are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. We're good.
Where do you guys live?
Just north of Rochester, New Hampshire.
Oh, it's a bit of a haul to Nashville.
It is.
Yeah, well, welcome. Good to have you. And all the way here to do a debt-free scream. How much have you paid off?
$162,158.
All right.
Way to go. And your range of income during that time?
About $83,000 to $119,000.
Cool. And what do you guys do for a living?
I am a service tech at a fuel company.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been a homeschooling stay-at-home mom for 22 years, but I also do eBay sales.
That works.
Cool.
Okay. And how long did it take you to pay off the 162?
4.5 years.
All right.
Yes.
Very good. Excellent. Okay. What kind of debt was it?
About $2,000 was credit card, $18,000 was a vehicle loan, and the rest was the house.
You paid off your house.
Yes.
Look at the weird people. Way to go,
Amazing.
weirdos. I love it. Wow. What's the house worth?
About $500,000.
Let's
Very
go.
cool. How much in your retirement accounts?
About $250,000.
All right.
On your
Bumping
way.
up, getting ready to be a millionaire. Look
Yep.
at you guys. I love it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How long have y'all been married?
28 years.
All right. And 5 years ago, somebody said something and you changed. How'd you get connected to us? What happened?
Aaron actually heard you on your radio show, and then he started listening a little more intently, and it got him thinking. I had recently picked up a full-time babysitting job, and the money just wasn't there. We're like, we have more money coming in. Where is it? So he brought it to my attention, and I listened, and we both just said, let's do it. Let's go.
Oh, wow. Just
And
off the radio show.
Yep.
Wow.
And we went out and got Total Money Makeover, and we just hit the road.
I
Just
love
like
it.
that. And 4.5 years later, your house was paid off.
Yeah,
After 25 years of marriage, or 20 years of marriage, you did something completely different. Yeah.
absolutely.
Wow. Way to go, you guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
They
you.
got to feel pretty cool, man.
Feels
You
awesome.
knocked it out.
We did. We did.
I mean, how does it feel to be debt-free? No payments, no house payment, no nothing.
It feels amazing and freeing.
I bet.
Yes. Yes.
So you listen to the radio and you hear a guy talking about getting out of debt, how to build wealth. What did the people around you think when you said, I'm following the radio guy, we're doing everything like he says, and that's how we're getting out of this? Did people think you were crazy?
A little bit. They were excited for us, but nobody was like, oh, I'm going to try that. Like, it just wasn't realistic, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, now it is.
Yeah.
Now it is, because now it's done. Mic
Yeah.
drop. Boom.
Yeah,
So we were
love it.
sailing pretty good. And
yeah.
and then in January of this year, Aaron was diagnosed with tongue and neck cancer.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So that halted everything for a bit.
Yeah.
The surgeon said to expect to be out of work for 4 to 6 months. He had just changed companies for the first time in 21 years, and so we weren't going to get short-term disability. He hadn't been there long enough. So that would mean 0 income.
2 weeks
wow.
shy.
Yeah, 2 more weeks. If they could have pushed the surgery out, we could have gotten something. But
So how'd you make it through that time?
we had followed the principles, and we had that 3 to 6 month savings, and we knew right away we were going to have financial peace, that we didn't have to stress about that.
That's right.
We also had a lot of generosity from friends and family.
Wow.
The
So how are you
piece-
doing now?
The piece we had from the emergency fund and the life insurance was everything to me. And that's why we're here today, to thank you, Dave.
Well, thank you.
Everything.
Thank you. I'm proud of you. And so you got a full recovery?
We just found out he's cancer-free.
Come on, somebody.
Yes.
That's
hey,
great.
that's better than debt-free.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Debt-free is good. Cancer-free is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Way to go,
That's
man.
amazing.
What a horrible thing to go through, but what a great result.
But having that money in the account was everything. Because we would have been thinking about that instead of
Fighting cancer.
fighting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
you gotta fight.
it takes everything you got to fight one thing, and you can't have 6 different things going on. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you didn't have to worry about that. Wow, that's amazing. Well, I'm so glad you're okay. That's the big thing.
Me too.
Yeah.
And if you guys are looking through your radio at home, you can't see their I drank the Kool-Aid T-shirts. So there you go. They have officially joined the cult.
Amen.
So, say what?
I just said amen.
Oh, okay. I thought you said and then. I missed. Okay. Way to go, guys. Congratulations. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Go ahead.
A big part of it is just to have contentment with what you have. We've always lived a very thrifty lifestyle. We've never carried much debt. We're content with what we have, but I think that's a huge part of it.
Enabled you to just click that about 2 notches and knock the whole thing out.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't like
Right.
this massive change, but you just had to get real intentional.
Yes.
You know, that's a big thing. Contentment's everything.
I have a key too. When I got diagnosed, I came up with a saying. It was opportunities. Challenges are just opportunities to prove how strong you are. And I think that's true with debt also.
Yeah.
The challenge makes you go harder, at least for my personality.
You're exactly
love
right.
that.
That's exactly right. That's how things work. So, very well done, you guys. Man, you're heroes. That's an amazing story. I'm so proud of you.
Wow.
Who was cheering you on outside the 2 of you on the debt? Anybody? They were just looking at you going, you kind of lost it maybe.
We were definitely our biggest cheerleaders and pushing each other along. But our kids have also adopted your principles, and they've been very excited watching us through this journey. So that's been encouraging to us to see them feeding off of it.
They do think we're crazy.
They do.
They live the principles now, even though one of them's an adult.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they saw it work for you, and they saw it change your life.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very cool. Well, we got the Live and Give box for you. That's the Baby Steps Millionaires box. You're almost there, and the Total Money Makeover book to give away, and hopefully get somebody else moving. It helped you get you moving, and that book has helped a lot of people get moving. And, of course, Financial Peace University membership as well. So congratulations, heroes.
Thank you.
Very, very well done. Took control of your life. So, Aaron and Melissa, Rochester, New Hampshire, $162,000 paid off, 4.5 years, making $83,000 to $119,000. Almost baby step millionaires with a paid off house and everything. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free!
Yeah! Yes!
love it.
Wow.
Just by listening to the show, Dave.
You know, life is going to come at you. Sometimes life is named car wreck. Sometimes it's named job layoff. Sometimes it's named throat cancer. But life is going to come at you. And if you have that emergency fund in place and you don't have any debt, it puts you, I mean, what Aaron is saying there, it puts you in a completely different posture to fight against whatever life is wanting to deal you.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it's going to deal you something. You know, we always tell people, you need an emergency fund. It's going to rain. Dave, you need to be positive. I'm positive. It's going to rain.
Yeah, that's just life. It's not being negative. It's just knowing that something's going to come your way. You don't get out of life without something coming your way.
It's wisdom. I mean, the flying monkeys on the Wizard of Oz, there's always going to be flying monkeys. Somewhere, even if you're on the yellow brick road, there's flying monkeys. Something's going to come.
I'd love to say I know what you're talking about, but I've never seen The Wizard of Oz.
You're kidding me.
Mic drop.
Are you an American? How do you not have seen The Wizard of Oz?
It's always just seemed like a weird movie to me, so I never watched it.
Wow.
Sorry.
I'm gonna have to talk to Sam. We're gonna have to remedy this. We're having a watch party, and I'm gonna go rent the thing. We're going to, oh my goodness.
Oh, boy.
We're going to put it on the big screen out here, up in the event center. Let's have it at the event center, have all the people bring their children, and get the original, the real Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the real one. Oh, my,
I
Jade.
believe your analogy made sense for some people.
Jade. I mean, that's not just a boomer thing. I mean, that's just that's America and apple pie and Chevrolet and the Wizard of Oz. I mean, come on.
It's a little known fact.
Wow. How do you not know about the flying monkeys? I'm so this is the Ramsey Show. Hey, if you're in over your head with student loans and tired of getting calls from collection agencies, if private student loan debt is taking away your financial peace and you don't see any way out, you need Refi. They're not a debt settlement company, and they're not connected to a bank. Refi refinances defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch and gives you a custom loan built for you based on your ability to pay. So when you refinance your private student loan debt with Refi, you'll have a payment you can afford with a low fixed interest rate you couldn't get anywhere else to help you stick to your budget and work the debt snowball. And you can save thousands of dollars. To learn more about this custom refinancing option and a lump sum payoff option you could qualify for after 24 months, call 844-2-RAMSEY or go to yrefi.com/Ramsey. Thanks for joining us, America. We're so glad you're with us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Forbes reporting Americans are overdue with their car payments at the highest rate in nearly 30 years. Higher car prices and rising interest rates are hindering car owners' ability to afford their vehicle payments, as 6.1% of subprime auto borrowers are at least 60 days past due on their loans, the highest percentage in data dating back all the way to 1994, according to Bloomberg. Gen Z and millennials may account for a significant amount of the borrowers behind on their auto loans, as the two generations recorded auto loan delinquency rates last year that were significantly higher than pre-pandemic levels, according to NBC News. Interest rates for used cars are 13.5% on average for those with fair credit, but can rocket up to 21% with those with worst credit and subprime loans. 6.1% behind on a subprime loan.
Yeah, they shouldn't have been buying these cars to begin with. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. When it's subprime, it's because you've got low credit, you've got low income. There's a reason that they don't want you borrowing money. And so they say, well, we'll just jack up the interest rate, right? So that we can cover our butts.
You're a high-risk borrower.
Risk. Yep.
So they're going to charge you super high interest rates and continue your problems for you.
Because they know.
But I was forced to buy a car. No, you weren't. They did not have a gun. You were not forced to do anything. I have chosen to do some stupid things in my life, but I have to take ownership of the fact that I chose to do it. I was not forced to do it. I wanted it. I had car fever. I loved the smell of the leather. And I paid way too much, and I put it on a high interest rate because I was stupid.
Yeah.
And I suspect that some people have done that.
Well, what's interesting is this is significantly higher than pre-pandemic levels, which to me indicates that after the pandemic, people got used to extra money coming in, whether it was subsidies from the government or whether it was I wasn't paying my student loan. And let's just go get a car. car. Let's get a new Camry.
Now, we have the illusion of margin in our budget because of these Biden bucks.
That's right.
And there's not a real margin in my budget, but I will go and act like there is. And because the famous words of right before you die, we can afford the payments. These are the famous words of fools right before you prove you're a fool.
Right, because all you care about is how much per month.
Rich people ask how much. Poor people ask how much down, how much a month.
Ay. And they're not talking about what these payments are, because we know what the average payment is. $717 last time I checked.
Yeah. So
$600. $650.
The interesting thing, though, the way Forbes and the financial media couches these things, is as if the people that did this are victims.
Right.
You know, it's like the Gen Z and millennials may account for a significant amount of the borrowers behind on their loans. These two generations have recorded auto loan delinquency rates last year that were significantly higher than pre-pandemic levels.
No, I can't get behind that, Dave, because they went to the dealership and they said, sign me up. I'll sign on the dotted line. They made that choice. No one said you had to get a car loan. No one said you had to spend $25,000 on a brand new car. You chose to do that.
Higher vehicle prices are at fault. No. Higher borrowing costs are at fault, according to the article. No. Let me help you. You want to know what causes vehicle prices to come down? Lower demand. People aren't buying them. They'll price adjust. It's what's happening to higher education right now. Colleges are getting ready to experience this. People have decided I'm not going to pay $250,000 for a degree in left-handed puppetry. It doesn't make sense. And end up being a barista. No, I'm not going to do that. And people are waking up. And you know what? If car prices are so high, then don't buy them.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, shocking.
Look,
See, here's the thing. It's the ancient word. We have forgotten the ancient word.
No.
You press your tongue towards the roof of your mouth, release and blow air past it. Sounds like this. No. You can't tell anyone no, because immediately that's hate speech now.
Yeah.
No. And you told me I can't do something. I just did. That's right. No.
Yeah.
I don't like Dave Ramsey. I didn't, I wasn't running a poll. I'm just here to help you.
But Dave, I have to live in my truth, and my truth is telling me that I need self-care and I need a new car.
See, the problem,
and the way for me to take care of myself is to get this new car.
The problem is if you have your own truth and I have my own truth and they're in conflict, one of them is not the truth. So it's you're not allowed to own your own truth. It's not like a thing you can buy. You can't go to Walmart and buy a box of truth. And it's different than, it's a variety. I get a variety pack, a different kind of truth, depending on what truth I want. Now, one truth, if it's in conflict with another truth, by definition, one of them is not the truth. The truth is independent of your little feelings, darling.
I'm offended, Dave.
I know.
I'm offended.
And I'm supposed to care.
I love it.
Oh, it's so fun. Hey, guys.
If you can't tell, we're making fun of you.
Yes, we are. Definitely. Yeah, if you make all of your adult decisions with your feelings, you are by definition a child. And so when you purchase something that you can't afford with money that you don't have to impress people you don't even really like at 21% on subprime, and then you get delinquent on the payment, $1,142 car payment, then you become a statistic, and then people like Forbes make fun of your entire generation because of that. And by the way, the Gen Zs and the millennials are actually two very good financial generations. They've done a very good job by and large, but a portion of every generation is stupid.
Well, the problem is...
And a portion of the Gen Z and a portion of the millennials, a portion of the boomers are stupid.
The problem is, Dave, is if you're always pointing to the problem out there, that's the reason. It's the dealership, it's the interest rates, it's inflation, it's supply chain. If you're always pointing to something out there for your own behavior, you'll never be able to fix it. You'll never be able to fix it. And you'll never get out of debt, and you'll never stop fooling around with cars. And everybody has to take that moment and look inward. When Sam and I were getting out of debt, we had a Jeep car payment for $303 and a Hummer H3 for $432 a month. That's so much in car payments. And I thought like, this is the way you're supposed to live life. This is what you have to do. And it took me listening to the Ramsey Show and listening to things and people going, that's so dumb. That's so stupid. And at some point you have to look at yourself and go, could I really be making a stupid decision? And not blame? You're never going to get past it. You've got to look. There's a reason you don't have any money and it's sitting in your driveway.
It's the largest thing we all buy that goes down in value. Yeah. I don't hate cars. I just hate what they do to people that can't afford them.
Right.
And, when you start talking, if you take $550 a month and invest it from age 30 to age 65, you're going to have $5.5 million in a mutual fund. Hope you like the car. It's a $5 million mistake.
Yeah, that your kids are crunching up Cheerios in the back and your friends are throwing up in the back.
Oh, gross.
I'm just saying.
What kind of friends have you got?
Well, if you got I'm just saying.
I haven't had friends throw up in the back of my car since college.
Look.
God. Just gross, Jade.
I'm just saying, this is what... Okay, your kid throwing up in the back.
Yeah, the dog.
Somebody.
I'll go with the dog, okay? I'll go with that. The dog got car sick.
Oh boy.
Man. But either way, the thing's going down in value. In your case, more than mine, but wow, they go down in value like a rock.
Look, people are driving these cars for Uber. You know those cars are getting tore up.
Ooh, nasty. Yeah, nasty. I don't even want to think about it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. So, if you can't pay cash for your car, you should not buy the car. That will help you gain wealth later to be able to drive anything you want to drive. In other words, if you'll drive like no one else, later you can drive like no one else. I did today. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jade. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Jennifer is in Columbia, South Carolina. Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, well, I wanted to ask you a question. My husband and I, we're having issues just saving and staying afloat, and we're really considering doing a cash-out refinance on our home because it just seems like the only way we'll be able to get out the rut and save and eliminate debt.
How much debt do you have?
I have between about $80,000. My husband, it's probably like $300K, but that includes the house.
Okay, how much debt does he have separate from the house?
I'll say probably 50, 60.
And what kind of debt is this combined? Is it student loans, credit cards?
Yeah, it's just loans, credit card, and student loans. And that's really the gist of it. And just
how much is cars?
I'm sorry?
How much is cars?
We have one car and it's $40,000.
Okay. You have one paid for car, or I'm sorry, one car with a car note, or do you have two cars and you have a paid for car sitting there as well?
Just one car with a car note.
Okay.
What's your household income?
Well, my husband makes between $200K a year, and I make $21,000, and then we both have disability.
You make $21,000 and he makes $200,000?
Yes.
And you said you both have disability. Explain that.
Because we both were veterans, so we do have a disability income.
And how much is that in addition to?
It's probably extra $20K onto our income.
So
but it's just like.
Can I be honest with you?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all make far too much money to be this broke.
Yeah.
You make you have $221,000 coming in a year.
$250,000 coming in.
Yeah, 200. Yeah, even more. Yeah. That's unbelievable.
You make $250,000 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, you're spending like you're in Congress.
And you have $130,000 of debt. Here's what I'm telling you, and I want you to really understand this. If you just lived on half of what you make, which is still more than the average family in America,
almost double the average family,
you would be out of debt, and it wouldn't take you borrowing on your mortgage to do it, or refinancing, or cash outing your mortgage to do it.
Borrowing on the mortgage is absolutely the most horrible, ridiculous thing you can do, because it will enable you to consider this chaotic, out of control, disorganized, overspending life, and you're going to crash this car. Girl, I mean, you guys got to know. You got to get control. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
So the house, what's your mortgage payment? What are you paying on this house?
Well, it went up to $1,900. It was $1,100.
All right, so that's not your problem. It's just your living. I already know the answer to this, but you're not on a budget, correct?
I mean, I feel like we are. We don't do anything.
Yeah, but that's not the same.
Okay. $250,000 is going somewhere. Mm-hmm. Aren't you kind of curious where it went? I am.
I am. Yeah.
I think it's kind of like, whoa, this is a mystery. So, what does your husband do for a living?
He's a truck driver, and that's what I wanted to get into. He's a truck driver, and he'll go to work, and it'll be times where because the fuel prices are so high, everything he comes out of pocket. He's on a 1099, but he works with a company. And
you don't make. Wait a minute. He does not make $200,000 a year.
Yeah.
He grosses $200,000 a year, but his net income after expenses. He's an owner operator, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
There's the problem.
He's
right
not
there.
netting $200,000.
Okay.
He's running a business that brings in $200,000, and then he has repairs and fuel and other things out of that. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you do not have an income of $200,000. Your income is the net profit on his business after expenses are paid, which is more like $100,000.
That sounds right.
Okay.
Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, that probably sounds better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jennifer, what do you do? What's your job?
Well, I just finished school. I'm an esthetician, and I'm trying to start my business. And I've been an at-home mom, but now, but I'm also trying to start a business. But
I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you with your esthetician work. Right now, it sounds like it's more like quarter time to part time based on your earnings. Am I right?
Well, my income comes from disability.
So you haven't earned anything
21?
from the...
You haven't earned anything from this degree yet?
Right. I just graduated probably like 2 Fridays ago.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations.
That's great. Okay.
Thank you.
Now, here's what we're going to do. All right. We're going to set you into Financial Peace University. It includes a budgeting app called Every Dollar. And then the other thing you ought to do is you ought to contact a Ramsey coach in your area. You can find them online with us at Ramsey Solutions and sit down with them, because someone needs to help you guys put together a set of books for his business and now for your business, so you actually know what profit you have after taxes are paid and after the expenses of the business are paid. And then you will know what it takes to attack this debt. It sounds to me like your $40,000 car probably needs to be sold.
Yeah.
Because I think it's too much car in this situation. And my guess is you probably have a very high interest rate on it. And the reason you only have one car that's super expensive is he's in a truck all the time. He's over the road and an owner operator. So...
I hope he's been paying taxes.
You guys need to get your your net profits figured out so that you can get organized and get on a budget and begin to attack these debts. And we're going to list them smallest to largest, and you're going to be able to do it in that order. I thought for a few minutes there you had a $250,000 income, and that was super absurd that you couldn't pay off $140,000 worth of debt making that, but you don't. Mm-hmm. You have probably $100,000, $120,000 income, give or take. And that's still enough to get you out of debt, but it's not, it doesn't make you look as out of control as I initially thought you were. Okay. You know, all it means is you're right. Your budget is probably not super, got all kinds, you know, you're probably not eating caviar every night or something here. That's not what's going on. But you are going to have to tighten up, and you are going to have to make a decision. And it's probably going to take you about 3 years of sacrifice, including selling this car and getting a much more reasonable, cheap car temporarily to get yourself into control. But we'll get you started in Financial Peace University and get you started on the Every Dollar Budget and help you get moving. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, you know that sinking feeling when you make an offer on a house you love and then you hear there's another offer? You need the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge. Super fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate, plus a $5,000 seller guarantee gives your offer the best chance of being accepted. The Home Buyer Edge from Churchill gives you an advantage over those other guys. Go to churchillmortgage.com today to learn more. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Our question of the day is brought to you by Neighborly, your hub for home services. When you need repairs for your home, Neighborly helps you find local home service providers like Mr. Rooter Plumbing, Mr. Electric, and more. Don't wait until something goes wrong. Be prepared. Download the Neighborly app today.
Yeah, today's question comes from Alan in Pennsylvania. He says, hey, y'all, I've recently seen companies advertising cashback debit cards. I'm in the process of transitioning out of using a credit card for day-to-day purchases. My question is, how does a cashback debit card work, and where's the money coming from? That's a really good question, Dave. I hear this a lot, and a lot of people have popped in saying, Jade, this is a great way that I can build my credit. It's a debit card that will report to the credit card companies or, report it on your credit report. But what they're not telling you is you're still borrowing money. No, the cashback credit card is just like a rewards card. Well, the ones that I'm looking at... You're talking about the one... Now the ones that build your credit? Experian launched one that only works with Experian Boost, and it reports on the credit bureau. Right. Okay. But this is simply like Discover has 1% back. Discover points, or if you get airline miles. So this is just cashback. It's a cashback rewards. All right, then I don't have a problem with that. Debit card. And where does the money come from? It comes from transaction fees, merchant fees. Yeah. So we don't accept credit cards on our website because we tell people not to have them, and that would be hypocritical for me to make money off of something I tell people not to do. Okay. So we take debit cards on our website. When you use your debit card on our website, we pay a merchant fee, a transaction fee. Most cases, ours is different, but because we doesn't do a lot of volume. But basically, it's around 3%. Okay, so $100, I pay 3% to the merchant fee to transact the debit card. Okay, they can then take part of that fee and give it back to you to get you to use the debit card more, because they make money when you use your debit card. They make transaction fees not off of you, but off of the merchant that you are buying from.
Same thing's true with a credit card, by the way.
Yeah.
Credit card pays the exact same fees, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Merchant fees are exactly the same. We don't pay less or more because it's a debit card. Mm-hmm. We've actually had to argue with a few of these people that they wanted to force us to accept credit cards to get to process our transactions.
No,
that won't work. Can't do business with you. But so a lot of your the credit card companies don't just make money on the interest on your debt. They also make money on the transaction fees.
Absolutely.
And so when they're giving you airline miles or whatever, it's not just because they're screwing you with 18% interest. It's also because the merchant transaction fee is doing that. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I don't have a problem with this. Let me tell you what the breakdown on this is, though. The only issue. It's the wrong question. Okay? Because you should not be asking a question of, I want to modify my spending habits, my method of payment, in order to get 1%.
Yeah.
Because that means every time you spend $100, you get $1. This is not going to move the needle for you.
Well, and somewhere in your brain, you're going to think, oh, if I spend more, I'll get more money, and it's going to make you want to spend more.
You can't spend your way into wealth when you're trading a $100 expenditure for $1 cash back. You just lost $99 on this, okay?
Yeah.
So, this is the way that these companies work, though. It's a feedback loop, and a psychological feedback loop, and they're trying to keep you spending and consuming because that's where the transactions are where they make all their money. And so it's not where you make all your money, though. And when you're asking the question, oh, boy, I could get 1% back. How about, oh, boy, I'm not going to spend $100.
True that.
And now I just made 100 times more money than even asking this question. 100 times more money.
I like it.
By, you know how you double your money. You fold it over once, put it back in your pocket, right? I mean, that's it. Quit. So don't let these people suck you into trading 100 for $1.
Yeah.
$1 for a penny. Don't make this transaction and then walk around like, well, I am very sophisticated. I have a cashback. Who gives a crap?
Yeah.
You're not sophisticated. You're trading 100 for $1.
The focus is wrong.
Yeah. So it's okay if you want to get cash back. It's not bad. But the fact that you're even worried about it is bad.
Absolutely. Since I wrongfully set myself up, I feel like we should talk about the other thing too.
Yeah. Okay. The other thing is there is now a debit card that does report on your credit bureau.
Yeah.
And it is only with the Experian Bank. That's the only one. And it only reports if you do Experian Boost. Now, what Experian Boost is a fee that you pay to the credit bureau reporting company called Experian. You pay them a fee, and they will boost your credit rating. However, those of you that have a boosted rating need to know that no mortgage company will use your boosted rating to qualify you. They will use your non-boosted rating. And so you use your Experian debit card. You opened a bank account with Experian so that they could make these fees we were just talking about so that you could pay them extra to boost your credit while using their debit card, all to build a boosted score that a mortgage company won't take.
There's other ones too, Dave.
Really?
That will, there are the ones that they'll send you a card in the mail and they'll say, we will take a portion of your paycheck and make it a portion of your own money and make it available to you as credit on this card. And so you spend, let's say you get paid $1,000, they'll take $300 over and they'll say, spend it on this card. And so they're fronting you the money first.
That's a prepaid credit
and
card.
then they'll come in and whatever you spent for the month, they'll come in and they'll take it out of your account.
Yeah, but that is actually debt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually debt. That's a prepaid credit card.
Mm-hmm. They call them debit cards.
Yeah.
They're calling them that erroneously.
It is not. A debit card does not count on your credit score.
That's right.
Period. Okay, unless you run it through Boost. But Not as of right now, anyway. So, yeah, prepaid credit cards back in the day had huge fees on them. I suspect that does. I haven't seen that product. And it was mainly being used by poor people.
Yeah.
Lower income people. It's like, same people shop at the pawn shop and think they're going to get rich off a lotto. It's the same poor people, and that's why they're poor. And it's one of the reasons they're poor anyway.
Yeah.
And Dave Ramsey hates the poor. No, Dave Ramsey works his whole life so that you're not poor. I spend all of my time helping you not be poor. I want you to not do poor people stuff, and that way you're not poor. Okay? And poor people stand in line. The number one zip codes that buy lotto tickets are poor neighborhoods. By far. The vast majority of lotto tickets purchased are in poor neighborhoods. So I'm not making that up. I mean, it's an actual data point. And it's not a moral judgment. It's just going, hey, how's that working for you? It's the same neighborhood that has title pawn, tote the note lot, and rent to own washer and dryer, for God's sakes, that you could buy for $50 at a garage sale. But instead you pay $2,000 for it, rent to owning it. But this is all short-term thinking. Thank God it's Friday. Oh God, it's Monday. And that's where the prepaid credit card shows up, is in that environment. It's also payday lenders in that neighborhood. And what is these commercials? God, they're awful. Cash advance place. Well, it's payday lenders. It's cash advance. But just horrendous. And the interest rates with the payday lenders, 800%. 800%. Now, you want to find somebody that's picking on poor people? It's those people that are picking on poor people. They're making a good living, getting rich off the backs of poor people. When you charge poor people 800%, and by the way, rich people don't pay that. They don't play that. And those things aren't in the rich neighborhood. They're not even in middle-class neighborhoods. It's your lotto tickets. It's a short term. It'll kill you guys. It'll kill you. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Just go make some money, live on less than you make, and stack cash. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, Dr. John Deloney here with some great news. You get to choose. Whatever you do, good or bad moving forward, the choice is yours. And when you're intentional about making good choices over time, they become healthy habits, like choosing to slow down and make time for a daily practice of prayer and meditation. One thing that has helped me with a daily practice of meditation and prayer is Hallow. Hallow is the #1 prayer app in the world, and they're giving you 3 months free to get started. That's 3 months free to prioritize your mental health and be intentional about finding peace through calming music, prayers, meditation, and more. And Hallow isn't just Catholic. You can tailor the content towards your faith tradition. If you don't have a faith tradition, this is a great place to learn more about it. From scripture readings and prayers to journaling, Hallow makes it easy to practice mindfulness, build a deeper, more meaningful spiritual life, and choose peace. Remember, Hallow is giving you 90 days free. Imagine the peaceful habits you can establish in 90 days. Go to hallow.com/Ramsey today and follow the simple prompts to start your free 90-day trial. That's hallow.com/Ramsey.
Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We're so glad you're here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Colton is with us. Hey, Colton, how are you?
Doing most excellent. Thank you for having me here today, guys.
We're honored to have you. Good to have you, man. Where do you live?
Austin, Texas.
Oh, fun. Welcome to Nashville. And how much debt have you paid off, Colton?
$62,258.92.
Wow.
Excellent. How long did this take?
31 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
Yeah, I started at right right over 24,000, and then I ended 2022 with right over 71,000.
Wow.
Oh, good for you. What do you do for a living?
It's a diverse job description. Do a lot, but we work in a pretty small company. But I can be tasked by any of our marketing heads, our sales heads, finance. Our CEO calls me the control center. It's where all the information comes together and then actions disseminate.
That'll work. I like it. I like it. Pretty cool. So you average $2,000 a month in debt reduction, starting out only making $2,000 a month. So most of this must have happened in the back end.
Yes, it was a journey snowballing throughout the whole thing. Yeah. And as we continued down it, we definitely got to see
as your income
wins.
went up, you were able to slam it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And every one that went down, it was the next one came up.
There you go.
Wow.
I love it. Good for you.
What kind of debt was it?
So it was all sorts of debt. We had student loans mostly, private and federal. Had a car loan, a bunch of credit card, had some past due medical bills I had to pay, and then there was one little stupid tax I found myself in the whole time too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I found myself in more than one.
I know that's right.
That's not bad at all. What happened? How did you find us? What got you started on this 31 months ago?
Yeah, so I was on the lower end of the income of this journey, and I found myself in a place where I really needed a vehicle. And I was in a place where it was mandatory for my job, and I had to commute to get everywhere. And I was just looking at things. I was like, I have no money. I'm right out of college. Like, I have no means to get a car. How can I do this? So I started going through, my diligence to do the research and find out. And I finally found the home base when I found Ramsey and this baby steps. And I read the book, Total Money Makeover. And I remember buying it at a half-price bookstore, and I was like, $20. I bought this book, and by the time I finished the last page and I closed it, I was like, that's $1 million book, and it's going to change my life. And
wow. Thank you. Okay, so you're broke and you read a $20 book and you need a car. How are you getting a car? What happened?
So before I got the book, I actually got the car.
Oh, you went into debt.
Yeah, I went into debt.
Okay.
That was the stupid tax.
$12,000.
You solved that problem with another problem.
Yeah,
okay.
Then I read the book. I was like, oh, and this was like 2 months afterwards, and I was like, oh, could have saved my problem.
So how much was the car debt in the 62?
12.
Oh, that's not
not too bad.
Not too bad.
Okay. Yeah, you're in good shape. And then you turn around and 31 months later, after a $20 book at a used bookstore, boom.
There you go.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like your style.
And all the strategies, getting involved with the career and getting passionate and doing everything you can, just so many facets of your life, just being able to approach them and win in every single one of them.
Very cool.
What did that look like for you? I mean, obviously you got your income up and you did it doing... Obviously, it sounds like you're a jack of all trades, but what did that look like? How did you do it?
Yeah, it was actually a transition from a few different jobs. It started on the lower end. I was operations manager for a freight and logistics company. And that worked really well. We did a lot of things. Like, we did a lot of different business. Like, freight was only a part of it. We were moving. We were doing international. We had a lot. But then I got a job offered for a new company, and it was a huge step up. And I was like, definitely, that's a place I want to go pursue. And I talked about it with the owner at the time, and he was like, do it. And then that second company sold, and that's where I find myself in this new company. And this is the place where I've just experienced the most growth and the biggest wins all over, just relationally.
I got a feeling I know why.
Yeah, me too.
I think the secret sauce is called Colton.
I see that. Yeah.
He's the captain of his own ship. Well done, sir. Well done. Well played. I like it. Okay. How old are you?
30 years old.
30 years old, and you paid off $62,000 in 2.5 years, 31 months, and you did that starting at $24,000, almost no income, and jammed it all the way to 71 and did this. What do you tell people the secret to getting out of debt is?
Yeah, I have to believe it's vision. You get to the place where you're in a place and you're like, I am done with this. I don't want this anymore, and I am going to get to the other side. You find the vision, you find the purpose, and then you can start setting goals. The vision starts, the goals follow. The plan, thank you, Dave, for giving us the plan, because that was the easy part. The plan proceeds. And then once you start hitting the goals and you start doing everything, it all snowballs. It all gets bigger and better, and you win so much that you're encouraged and you're motivated, and it keeps going and keeps going. But that all started with the vision. You get to the point where you said, I've had enough, and I'm ready to get past it.
Yeah. Amen.
What was your vision? Because everybody getting out of debt has that thing that they're picturing, right? Like that's the why. Like if I can just get there. What was yours?
Actually, this is actually hits the show perfectly. Is like generosity. Like I want to go out and I want to tip outrageously. I want to just give. I want to do so much for everyone. But if I'm in a place where I'm making so little money and I'm paying everything I can to the banks, then we find ourselves in a place we don't have very much money to give out. We can't be generous as we want to be. So my goal is to be as generous as possible. And to get there, I want to take the steps.
And you figured out that you have a math problem if you're broke to be generous. Yeah, you broke people. It's hard to be generous when you're broke. I mean, you can be generous with a smile, you can be generous with kindness and open a door, make somebody a pie, but outrageous generosity, it requires coin. Yeah, well done, sir. Outrageous. Well done. I like it. Very, very good. Yes. Good play on that. Who was encouraging you?
So that's the biggest thing I could say about the whole journey is like not many people understood at all. Like no one really got it. Like my dad would say, Colton, you need a new bed frame. My mom's like, when are you gonna open up that dating budget? I need grandchildren. Like everyone around.
The dating budget. Wait a second.
Like come on. How much can I put there, Jade? Like talk to me through it.
I can't help you.
No. But so people may not understand the steps or the intensity or how focused you have to be to do it. But I was surrounded by people who supported me, like employer after employer. I got called this morning at 10 a.m. I was sitting in a diner up north, and just out of nowhere, my CEO and our director of sales is sitting right next to me.
Okay.
They called me out of nowhere and said, hey, guess what? We're here in Nashville. We're coming down to Franklin.
You're going to do the debt-free scream with you. Yeah.
And I was like, this wasn't on the plan. This wasn't on the agenda, but
look at that.
It's that level of support that I've had the entire journey. It's like friends, family, my church, everyone around me. I am so supported. And the fact that we have our CEO and our director of sales here today is just a testament to that.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, you're an easy guy to support, though. You're an easy guy to get behind. I like placing my bets on a horse that's going to win. So, yeah, well done. Well done, sir. Proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
Well played. Well played. And congratulations. We're happy for you. We've got the Live and Give, speaking of that, box for you. The Baby Steps Millionaires book, which is definitely your next stop. And the Total Money Makeover book. Now you have a new one. And you can give that away or give that used one away, one of the two. And then Financial Peace University membership as well. So thank you for making the trip from Austin all the way to Nashville. And thanks to your leadership team for coming in and supporting you. That's real leadership. That's very well played, ladies. Very well played. And good stuff. All right, Colton from Austin, Texas, $62,000 paid off in 31 months, making $24,000 to $71,000. It helps to be a force of nature. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt-free!
Yeah!
That's
how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. Wow.
And his dating budget is open for the ladies.
You think it is? You think it's ready now?
It's ready. I'm looking at him.
You think it's happening now?
His face card is not declining, so he's ready. Have you ever heard that? My friend told me that's the cool thing to say.
Oh, is it? Okay. I say it again because I need just a little bit of cool over this way.
This guy's face card does not decline.
Oh, okay.
That's what you say when someone's handsome.
Okay. I got it. It took me a minute, but yeah. Took me a lot longer. It didn't take me as long as the other one you were oh, my God. That one took me a week. Yeah. I'm so slow. But, it's good, though. I'm glad I didn't say that about him. So that would have been weird.
That's right. Yeah, you can't say that, Dave.
That'd be real weird.
That would be weird.
Yeah. God help us. This is The Ramsey Show. Well, you've all played the telephone game. The first person whispers a message to the second person, who whispers it to the third, and so on around the table until the original message has completely changed. Multiply that confusion by 100 if you run a business with different software systems that don't talk to each other. That's why there's NetSuite by Oracle. In the early days of Ramsey, we were using different systems for all of our business units. We needed one single source for accurate data. NetSuite was the software we used to optimize and take us to the next level. NetSuite gave us the visibility into all of our numbers so that we could communicate across departments and plan ahead better. And as we grew, it scaled with us. NetSuite worked for Ramsey, and it will make a difference for your business too. Join the more than 34,000 customers who trust NetSuite to help make them smarter and make better decisions and level up their operations. To learn more, get a free product tour at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Wow, that guy was inspiring. The energy off of him, amazing. Mm-hmm. Norman is in Philadelphia. Hi, Norman. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave and Jade. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Here's my situation. I'm 70 years old, part-time pastor, bivocational actually, here in suburban Philadelphia, small congregation. Mm-hmm. And we are having to unexpectedly close due to some horrific circumstances. If you want to know them, I'll tell you. Oh. They're not super relevant to my problem or to my question. But I had been planning on working for another couple of years and then retiring and then looking for housing. This, quote, retirement is being forced on me a couple of years early, not through my own doing. It's just the situation. And so I'm wondering what is wiser for me to do, to purchase or to rent. A couple of things that play a role in my decision. My parents are still alive in their early 90s, and I'm committed to staying in the Philadelphia area for as long as they're alive, which means I'm in the Philadelphia expensive housing market. Otherwise, I could look for much less expensive housing somewhere else in the country.
So you've been in a parish?
Yes, I've been in a parish, right.
Yeah, exactly. And so have you been saving money towards purchasing a home?
Yes, I have. I owned a home for 43 years, which I sold about 2 years ago, and have a maximum of $150,000 to $170,000 for a down payment from that home.
Mm-hmm. And do you have what is your income situation going to be?
It'll be, once I retire, in the $70K range.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's a bit higher than that because my wife and I are still working part-time for the next couple of years. Mm-hmm. But once we actually retire, it'll drop a bit down into the $70K range.
Okay, so if you purchase and your 90-year-old parents pass, well, when your 90-year-old parents pass, we're all going to pass. So right. When they pass, whether it be 2 months or 20 years, I don't know.
Right.
Then your intention would be to leave Philadelphia?
Probably, yes. Mostly because of costs.
Okay. Well, the general rule of thumb, and it depends on the market and the specific area within the specific market to get the exact math, but the general rule of thumb is if you're not going to be in a property 2 years, you're better off to rent. And so,
right. My thought is right now that if we actually bought something, we would commit to staying 5 to 7 years.
Okay.
Even if, let's say, my parents died in 2 years.
Yeah. Okay.
So we would just buy something that we would stay in it for at least the 5 to 7 years.
Regardless of their situation, right. You would be at least right. 5. Yeah.
Right.
How is their health?
Right now, it's pretty good, actually.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now my father-in-law's 94, and he's sharper than I am. Yeah. So, that's how we want to be, right?
Yeah, my dad will be 92 next month.
Yeah. I would buy. You got a 5-year horizon. You'll make money on it. It'll end up being net cheaper than having rented over 5 years.
That's right.
I would buy.
Okay. Some people have suggested I maybe rent for a year and wait for the interest rates to drop because it's an election year.
Well, that might be so, but during that year, prices might go up, too, because we still have a housing shortage. And even though inventory is, there's not a lot of people excited about the real estate market right now, there's still more buyers than there is sellers. And so we're seeing prices go up, ironically, while interest rates are going up. But there's not a lot of volume of sales. It's just, but we've not seen a decline in values, not nationwide. And Philly's a good, strong market, so I doubt it's experienced that. So I would buy. You got a 5-year horizon. We're going to commit to a 5-year minimum. You'll make money in that 5 years versus having rented. You'll be glad you did. And yeah, mathematically, I would buy. And let's see, what else? You stabilize your costs. You're in the housing market.
I am debt free. Yep. I am debt free.
Okay, that's good.
Great. What do you have?
No, I don't.
In a 403B, like what do you have in retirement?
Well, it's actually way too complex. I'm going to have about 9 sources of income.
That's
also
awesome.
Including international. So it's a pretty complex picture.
But you don't have any cash to get a hold of in addition to the $150 to just pay cash for a house.
I do, yes. But
I would consider that.
I'm not sure. Yeah. What would you recommend for putting down for down payment? As much as possible?
I like the 100% down plan.
Yeah.
I really would. I mean, I don't know what your net worth is. There's a lot of different things going on in your story here. But I wouldn't use your last dime to do it. But if you're sitting on another $500,000 or $600,000 somewhere and you use $400 to go with that, you still got $200 plus these 9 sources of income and a paid-for house. That's where I would be if I'm in your shoes. I'm going to pay cash for something. But I don't know that, we'd have to really dig further down into your numbers to figure that out.
So at what point, let's talk about that a little bit. Let's say you have $1 million. At what percentage of that would you pull out in order to pay cash for your primary home?
The least possible to have a house that is quote unquote reasonable. And that, that's going to shift. All right.
Depending
you're in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is not an inexpensive market.
Right.
This is not Dayton, Ohio.
Of course.
Okay. It's not Abilene. All right. It's it's going to be more expensive. It's adjacent to New York. Hello. Okay. So we're in a very
400
and Philadelphia's got a wide variety of neighborhoods.
Yeah, but easily $400,000.
Yeah, I'd go 400 or 500. I would not go 900 out of $1 million.
Right,
sitting there with $100,000 and all of it's tied up in a house.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that
500,000 feels like to me too.
That's pretty tight. I mean, but somewhere around that $500,000 mark. And so that's why I say if he's got another $500,000 or $600,000 on top of that $150,000 from the old house that he sold, and he pulled out 2 or 3 of those 100, and still had 200 or 300 laying there, and he paid cash for $450,000. I mean that starts to be optimum.
Yeah,
and that's a less than median price, slightly below the middle in Philadelphia right now. So that's where he would be. And that, but again, paying cash gives you a lot of ability to just sit and smile.
Absolutely.
And you don't have anything tugging at your wallet every month there. It's a different environment. So very smart for pastors to hear this. Not a lot of pastors, percentage-wise, these days have parishes.
That's right.
Not as often as they used to. Parishes were traditionally or are traditionally employer-furnished housing, and it oftentimes was the house next door to the church. So they were handy to the church, and they could go over and turn on the lights. And he was bivocational, so it was a smaller church, likely. I mean, he wasn't even full-time pastor,
right?
In terms of income off of it, he probably is full-time in hours. But
there's still usually...
the parishes have gone away. If, though, you are a pastor, or sometimes they have an old parish around a church that's gotten started again or something, and they'll put the youth pastor or the worship minister in there. In those cases, any of you that are doing that, make sure you're still paying yourself a house payment, even though you don't have a house payment, because you're going to end up where he is, having to buy a house at some point in your equation. There's very few of you. I mean, if you're a a priest in some of the denominations, some form of Catholicism, you might have no housing needs the rest of your life. That's possible. But the vast majority of you that are in a parish are at some point going to need to provide your own housing, whether it's at retirement, at a job change, or whatever it is. And the vast majority of evangelical churches these days are not doing parishes. They've not worked out well. And so be prepared is the moral of the story. And Norman has done a really good job preparing. Done a really good job. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Sean is in Fort Lauderdale. Hi, Sean. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
What's going on, Dave? How are you doing today, sir?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So, quick question, I guess. I'm about $14,000 in school debt. I am $38,000 in car debt. I make about $50,000 a year. I'm 10% owner of my business with the ability to stake up to 30% once I reach goals of $250,000 on a yearly basis. And I have about $3,500 in credit card debt. My bills exceed about half of my monthly earnings.
What is your monthly earnings?
About pre-tax, it's $4,190, I think.
Mm-hmm. So you're taking home $3,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my bills are about $2,700.
Mm-hmm.
Including a $700 car payment. Now, I would I would immediately sell my car. The problem is I got into a car accident about 4 months into having the car.
Mm-hmm.
And the motorist who was at fault in the accident was an uninsured motorist. So I didn't have uninsured motorist on my insurance either. And I exceeded about, I think it was $26,000 in damage. Kind of in a rut here.
Your collision should cover it, even if they are uninsured.
It did.
So why isn't your car fixed?
No, the car is fixed. I'm now driving it again. It's all good now, but it took about 2 months to repair, and I needed to get to work at the time.
What's that got to do with you selling it?
You need to get to work, and you did what?
So I needed to get to work at the time, and I started renting a vehicle while I didn't have my car while I was getting fixed.
Okay, but you still, right now, you still have a $38,000 car. What's the car worth today? It's fixed. You're driving it. What's it worth?
About $29,000, I'd say.
Who said?
Kelly Blue Book.
For private sale or trade-in?
Private sale.
Okay, so you're 9 in the hole. And how old are you?
I am 25.
Okay, all right.
Well, I had a job prior to this where I was spending probably a little more than my means. I was making about $100,000 a year, and then the company sold and major layoffs. So I am a business owner. It's just business just started.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And so, what's your question? How can we best serve you?
Just trying to get out of this. I mean, my mom's always told me I got hands that just money flows through. So I'm just just started listening to your podcast, and I think hearing it from you might really help.
So you're brand new to the Ramsey stuff?
I am.
Okay, that's cool. All right. Well, the good news is your hands are not a DNA issue. Your hands are money flowing through as a choice. Agreed?
Right. Yeah.
It's not like it's a curse. It's just that's how you've chosen to do it. And I don't want your mom speaking anything negative like that over you again. Tell her to quit doing that. Okay?
No, it's all in,
I know. It's all in good fun, but even joking, you kind of owned it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to own I am a responsible, extremely sharp 25-year-old guy that recently made $100,000 and soon will again, that used to make mistakes with money, and I don't make those mistakes anymore. That sounds more like the guy I know.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And because that is actually who I'm talking to. You're calling me on a radio show in front of a whole bunch of other people, bearing your soul, taking a great risk in order to figure out how to fix something that you don't know how to fix. I think that's pretty courageous.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
So for me, my 2 cents in this whole thing is, I'm always going back to the baby steps. And I know that right now you're making $50,000 a year. I'm always looking for a way to increase my income if I'm you. Is there something else that you can do on the side? I know you're a business owner. I know you've got a lot on your plate. Is there something else you can do to bring some more money in?
I was thinking about getting a second job at maybe a bar or something where I can, go and make a good amount of money. I mean, I know some people in the business who would take me in with open arms. It's just I don't want to exceed my ability to be able to run the business as an operator. I don't want to impact my day-to-day.
Well,
getting no sleep or something there.
There is part of this that you're going to have to embrace, that you're going to go through a season of difficulty. And that difficulty does look like long nights, being tired, working your fingers to the bone. Like, there is going to be a season of that. And I think that's part of you just embracing it. Here's the thing. It's not long-term. It's short-term. Okay. Right? So I do think that your idea of looking into that, I would just go ahead and move forward with that, assuming that the return on that time is going to be worth it. How much do you think you could make?
I had one of the girls who worked there tell me they made $700 a night. I mean, I'd probably say average $400 a night, $500 a night.
Yeah, great. So you can make almost as much doing that at night as you're making during the day right now.
Right, of course.
And so that solves a lot of problems right there. And again, it's a temporary thing. This is all to clean up the mess. Because if you had zero payments right now, your life would be completely different. Agreed?
Absolutely.
That's where we want to take you to. And so we're going to put you on the Every Dollar Budget. It's an app that we have, the world's best budgeting app. I'm going to give it to you free. I'm going to put you in our class. It's called Financial Peace University. I'm going to give that to you for free because I've been 25 and scared. I remember how it feels. And I used to have money running through my fingers too. I know exactly how that out of control feels, and you wake up with a financial hangover, which is worse than a real one. Yeah. And that I don't want you having that anymore. I want to get this out of your life. So here's the deal. We're going to put you into all of that. And I want you to start immediately paying down, cutting up the credit cards, get debit cards, don't spend money you don't have, and begin to tear through these first two debts, the credit cards and the student loan.
What's your student loan payment?
It's about $170 a month.
Yeah.
Is that as low as you can get it for now?
As low as I can get it. I mean, I can definitely try and give them a call and see if I can decrease that.
But it's a temporary thing, because really what we want is $14,000 to make the whole thing go away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. And so here's the deal. If you add $4,000 to this equation, credit cards are gone in 1 month. 4 more months, the student loans are gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
You do the math with me there?
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. That's why. So Jade's telling you the secret sauce, baby. It's you. Okay, and then we're going to tear into this. And if you are not back up to $100,000 a year in your current job by March, you do need to sell this car. It's too expensive. If you're making $100,000, you can keep it, but you got to pay it off ASAP. You should be 100% debt free in your world in a year from today, if you'll follow the stuff we teach. And that involves selling the car if you don't get your income up. But if you do get your income up, you'll be able to pay it off and still keep it all within a year. Hang on. We'll get you signed up for Every Dollar. Jade Washoe, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Angela is in Washington, D.C. Angela, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave, and hi, Jade. How are you doing today?
Doing
better than we deserve. What's up?
So I am a 37-year-old single female, and I have found myself in a little bit of, a whole lot of debt. I have 2 whole life insurance policies that I would like to cash out or surrender the policies. They total about $11,000. My question is,
the cash value is 11 or the face?
The cash value is $11,000.
What's the face? What's it pay if you die?
The face value for both of these policies is about $200,000.
Okay. All right. And you're paying monthly on them?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
And about 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer, and at this current point in time, I'm uninsurable. So I was thinking about surrendering the policies for $11,000 so I can start baby step 2 and, create an aggressive plan, the snowball method, to pay off my debt. Should I keep these policies considering of my illness, or should I surrender them and start my debt repayment?
What's your income?
I make about $140,000 a year. This includes a 20-year $1,000 from a rental property.
And how much debt?
I'm renting out my basement.
How much debt do you have?
Right now, I'm probably at about $240,000.
What kind of debt?
128 student loans, about $45,000 in credit card debt. I have $30,000 left on a home renovation loan, and I have a $30,000 car loan.
Okay. And what's your with the cancer?
How you doing?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good now. Some of this debt is contributed to that, just kind of, paying medical bills. I was in a higher...
I'm not a medical expert, but are you in remission? Are you okay? Or are you still in the middle of fighting it and you're doing good? Or what's going on?
No, I'm doing good.
You're in remission?
I'm on just maintenance. I'm in complete remission, and I'm on maintenance therapy.
Okay, great.
What kind of cancer did you have?
It was breast cancer.
Okay. All right. And so it is in the rearview mirror right now. How long have you been cancer-free?
Since about 2021.
Okay.
2 years. Okay. All right. I'm thinking more like an insurance person than a medical person right now. That's what I'm trying to do, because I know very little about this except just having been around it as a human being, but I'm not a medical person. You follow me? So, but the experience that I've had, I have 2 or 3 ladies almost within eyesight of me right now that are on our team that have been through that and are a couple of years the other side of it and are doing fine. And the prognosis is excellent for them. But you're right, they're not insurable for life insurance today. But in terms of their life looks really good. You follow me?
Yes.
And that's I'm just judging it based on that. I'm not, again, it's not a medical diagnosis. I don't know anything about that. But I do know you can't get life insurance. I do agree with that today. So you're single. Do you have any children?
No, not at this
time. So you have no dependents. Okay, that affects this. Because I'm very hesitant to have someone who's uninsurable cancel insurance. Because you can't get it right now. And if you even have a scare, let's say you go 3 or 4 years and then you have a scare, you're not going to get it for another 3 or 4 years. So you might end up going a decade. If with no hiccups, maybe 3 or 4 more years you'll be getting it, right? But if you had a minor hiccup, it could be a decade without it, and your life could change a lot at 37 in 1 decade. You follow me?
Right.
So I'm always hesitant to lose something that you can never get back. And that's this insurance. You can't get it back anytime soon. The good news is... Go ahead.
I also have a term.
Great.
Policy. It's term 80. It has a face value, a death benefit right now of $150,000.
Okay. That's extra information that's very helpful. Thank you. Yes, cancel your whole life. Cancel your whole life.
I have a long-term long-term disability policy and a long-term care policy.
Yeah.
And I had all of these policies before I was
diagnosed. Good.
Okay.
Yes, I would cancel your whole life if I were you.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. No one is counting on your income if you were to pass away. So $150,000 cleans up, takes care of your funeral, and cleans up the vast majority of your debts.
Mm-hmm.
And the sale of your house cleans up the rest of them. Agreed?
Right.
So
Agreed.
your mom, dad, brother, sister, somebody cleans up your estate, and you've got the money to do every bit of that. And there's no burden left to anyone. There's no one that was left counting on your income that doesn't have it like a child left behind, that kind of a thing, which is the primary use of life insurance, is to make sure the family's okay. So given all of that and that you have this 150 in term in place, and 3 years from now, you get married and have kids, and you get some life insurance to just, to cover a family situation, and you've had then 5 or 6 years in remission, you're become insurable, most likely at that point, then you've got a fine plan. You see what I'm doing?
Yes.
And that's that. I'm just trying to kind of anticipate, but the $11,000 doesn't fix your debt mess. You got to go fix that with your $140,000 income, right? And you got to start really cleaning that up, and you have to get very, very serious about living on beans and rice and beans. But getting rid of the stinking payment, because this whole life payment is what, $500, $400?
All of my life insurance policies, premiums, I pay $508 a month for everything.
Yeah, but how much of that's the term? 90.
The term insurance is $88 a year.
Ta-da.
My whole life is about $2,000 a year.
Yeah, so we're saving $2,000 a year. That's what I'm more concerned about than the $8,000. Okay, and so are the $11,000? The $11,000? Yeah, you can pay off some of the debt. Start cleaning up. The car, the renovate, whether you keep the car or not, I don't know all that. But yeah, the answer to your question is yes. I would. You got a whole picture here we're looking at that tell you to drop this, but. The number of times in 30 years on the air I have told someone who's uninsurable to drop a life insurance policy, even as much as I hate whole life, is very, very low. Right. Almost never.
Well, yeah, because what are you going to replace it with? Nothing.
You're in a mess, and I almost never would tell you to do that. I hate whole life insurance. It's a piece of crap of a product. But in your case, we're saving you $2,000 a year plus putting $11,000 in your pocket for something that you don't even really need.
Yeah. Yeah, in her case, no.
And so the uninsurable just adds drama to the question.
Well, luckily she had the term policy in place. If she didn't,
everything.
If she didn't, she had 2 whole lives worth $200,000. Would you have advised her to keep both of them or let go of one?
I might have let go of one. I would have parsed them out and figured out which was which, and that I'm afraid the term insurance is probably expensive. That's why I guessed accurately on the price, because she bought it from a whole life company. When you buy term from a whole life company, they jack the term price up to try to show you that there's not much difference between the two, and you end up paying more than if you went to Zander Insurance and shopped among a bazillion companies and got the best possible deal. So if you go to a whole life company and buy term insurance, expect to pay 25 to 50% more.
So
for nothing, absolutely nothing, except their marketing plan. So, but the whole industry is just wicked.
Yeah.
The term insurance is the only way to go. 15 to 20 year level term. About 10 to 12 times your income. Go to XanderInsurance.com. They'll shop about a handful of different companies, a bazillion companies, to get you the best possible deal. And, you're going to be in great shape then, and you're going to kick everybody's butt in the marketplace if you're insurable. She doesn't have that option.
Yeah.
So, good question. Thank you for calling in. And I'm glad you're doing okay.
Me too.
This is The Ramsey Show. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. So when I started teaching this information 35 years ago, I had discovered common sense, God's and Grandma's ways of handling money. After I went broke, when I went broke, I was making a couple of $100,000 a year, and I had a net worth of $1 million in real estate. And I have all the letters and licenses after my name and all the academic bullcrap that says I'm supposed to know something about money. And I went broke. So obviously something I learned with the academic bullcrap was just that, bullcrap. Now, obviously some of it was right. But I learned from old people that had money and from basic common sense things in the Bible that you have to live on less than you make. You have to live on a budget, a written plan. No one goes to success accidentally. You have to get out of debt and stay out of debt. Your most powerful wealth building tool is your income. You have to save and invest and discover the eighth wonder of the world, Einstein called it, compound interest. And you have to be outrageously generous. These are 5 components that are principles of life that are ancient and they are proven. Then the next thing I had to figure out, and it took me a few years, was in how do I apply them in the real world? Well, I'm going to cut up my credit cards. I'm going to get on a budget. I'm going to not borrow money for a car. What do I do if I'm in debt? Well, we're going to use the debt snowball and get out of debt. Oh, I've got to have an emergency fund. Do I do that before a retirement plan? Oh, I've got to save for my kids' college. Oh, wait, we need to pay off the house. Oh, my goodness, where do we start? Which of these comes first? I don't know what to do. So we took the 5 principles and I put them into a process, a proven plan, a path that we nicknamed the baby steps. Now, the baby steps are not ancient. Well, they're 30 years old, but they're not ancient like ancient wisdom from Proverbs, okay? But the principles that I talked about, the 5 things, are all woven into the baby steps, and it gives you an order of attack. Mm-hmm. And we've taught people that the first thing you do, save $1,000, a little starter emergency fund. It's not enough, but it's just for now. The second thing you do, baby step 2, is you pay off all your debts except your house with great focused intensity. You live on nothing, and you list your debts smallest to largest and attack them in that order. Then when you're out of debt, everything but the house, boom, you're in the top 10% of Americans right then. And then we're going to go ahead and finish the emergency fund at 3 to 6 months of expenses. Then we can let off the gas and let the intensity go down and let it change to intentionality, and we simultaneously do baby steps 4, 5, and 6. Save for 15% for retirement, save for kids' college, and start paying off the house at 6. When the house is paid off, it takes you to baby step 7, which is everything is paid off. Now there's nothing left to do but build wealth and become very, very generous. So in the midst of that, Jade, we've taught this, and you've taught it as well. You're running into some detailed questions about 4, 5, and 6, the retirement, the college, and the house.
Yeah, the people on social media are like, you're always talking about paying off the debt, Jade. What about for us who have gotten through it? Can we have a deep dive on baby steps 4, 5, and 6? And I'm like, yes. So I went through, I look at my DMs on Instagram, and I do look at some of the questions on Facebook, and I try to pull 10 that I feel like are the most asked questions. So let's
frequently asked questions on Jade's DMs.
Yes, let's clip through these. So the
it's
first
better
question.
Than Dave reads mean tweets. But yeah.
Well, let me add one to it just because you mentioned it. So on baby step 4, Dave, is it my pre-tax number that I'm doing the 15%, or is it my after-tax number, my take-home? Pre-tax. So there you go,
gross
people.
Revenues. So if you make $100,000 a year, you need to save $15,000. If you make $200,000, you need to save $30,000.
There you go. Well, Dave, if I'm on baby step 4 and all of a sudden I use up my emergency fund, do I have to stop baby step 4, which is investing the 15%, in order to restock my emergency fund?
If you can't restock it within 2 months, yes.
Within 2 months. So there's
you don't want to be going without an emergency fund. Mm-hmm. When you walk around without an emergency fund, it attracts bad luck. Mm-hmm. It's like Murphy is looking out, got me one.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
So 2 months is the rule on that. How about this one? How do I toggle between baby step 3B, which is saving for a down payment on a house, and baby step 4? Do I pick one or the other? When do I focus on one over the other?
You take that one.
All right. So I would say that if you're going to spend more than 2 years saving up baby step 3B, I might consider adding baby step 4 to it. And if you're able to save up that down payment really quickly, then I would just stop baby step 4. When you're done, go on to baby step 4.
Yeah, like 6 months, pour the heat on, no retirement.
Yeah.
And then go to retirement full on.
Yeah.
Okay. And sometimes people do, I'll take the match. My employer matches 6, so I'll do 6% instead of 15 while I'm doing 3B.
Yeah, you can do them at the same time. Yeah. But ultimately, we don't want you to
you don't want to do
them.
No retirement for more than 2 or 3 years.
That's right. That's right. Let's see. Number 3. What do I do if I make too much, Dave, for a Roth IRA?
Backdoor Roth.
Aha.
Backdoor Roth is you open an after-tax IRA, traditional, and roll it to a Roth instantaneously. Mm-hmm. I do it every year, and I do it for my wife as well every year. We have fully funded Roths every single year. Perfectly legal. It's a loophole in the tax law.
That's right. And by the way, when you say you open, what you really mean is I work with my SmartVestor Pro. They do it. I don't do it. There you go. I just wanted to clarify that because on the Instagrams, they're saying you do it. Like you do your own investing.
The only thing I do on my investing is I throw money in an S&P 500, park it till I get my next real estate deal. Mm-hmm. But that's baby step 7 stuff there.
Yeah. So let me jump down to question 10 because it goes along with it. It says, do I really need to use a financial advisor to choose the funds in my 401k, or can I just pick the funds myself?
You can pick them yourself in a 401k, but you need a good financial advisor in your corner, not to tell you what to do, but to teach you.
That's right.
And then the other thing, if you're watching the news and you go, oh, God, Israel's at war. The stock market's going to dive. We're all going to die. You know, you need somebody to talk you off the ledge and keep you invested because you don't want to jump off in the middle of the roller coaster ride.
I know, that's right. All right. What to do with extra money when your home is paid off? My home is paid off. I've maxed my 401k, my IRAs, and my HSA is also maxed. What else can I do?
Well, there's 2 things that people do. I only do 3 things. I only do, as far as investing, what can other people do? I buy real estate that I pay cash for. Mm-hmm. And as it goes up in value, you do not pay taxes on the increase in value until you sell it.
Dave, I'm not really into real estate. I don't want to be a landlord.
Buy a low turnover mutual fund, and that means they don't sell the stock inside of it very often, so it doesn't have taxes. You only pay taxes when you sell out of the mutual fund on 98% of it. You know, if you got a low turnover ratio mutual fund. And so like an S&P 500 generally would be that. And that's why I use those to park extra money in.
What about these REITs?
They're fine. Just check your track record on them. That's a real estate investment trust. It's basically a mutual fund for real estate. In the old days, they stacked them with fees so high that the returns were much less than growth stock mutual funds. But in the last 10 years or so, they've really come on. They're doing a much better job of running them. And I don't buy those because I buy real estate.
Right.
But they're not bad, and just check the track record on them.
Love that. What amount extra should I put onto the mortgage, or should you ever stop the mortgage to increase investing or vice versa?
15% of your household income into retirement at baby step 4, something into kids' college at baby step 5, and any other money we find above lifestyle we put on the mortgage until the mortgage is gone. The 2 key areas of people that get their first $1 to $5 million of net worth, and all the research and data that we have says a beefy 401k, Roth IRA retirement plan, and a paid-off house.
Love that.
Those are the 2 places to go to get rich.
For college saving, ESA or 529?
They're the same thing. The ESA, the good news about it is there's only one kind, and you control it. The 529, there's 3 different kinds, and only one of them is good. And the one that you control is the one that's good.
True.
But don't get into 529 is prepaid college. You don't do prepaid college. You don't do that. That's a bad 529.
And ESAs do have contribution limits.
But a traditional 529 with your SmartVestor Pro is the same thing as an ESA.
Yeah.
You select the mutual funds, and you're just fine.
Cool. Good job, Dave.
Quick, rapid fire. Our scripture today, Proverbs 14:15. The simple believe anything, but the prudent give thought to their steps. George Bernard Shaw said 2% of people are thinking, 3% of people think they are thinking, 95% of humans would rather die than think.
Oh, gosh.
Hardcore,
Sheesh.
George. Hardcore, buddy. It's probably right.
Sheesh.
Amy's in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hey, Amy, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you for taking my call.
Sure, what's up?
I have a question. So I just, I'm about to close on a house. It's a $330,000 house that I put 18% down. So I put $60,000 on down. And so the house comes in bare. It doesn't have refrigerator, nothing at all. And of course, those are things that I have to buy. And I'm just wondering, like, how should I go about it without getting into debt?
Did you know, I have to ask, going into buying this house, did you know that there wasn't going to be any appliances inside?
Yes, I did know.
So what's your plan?
You know, so I have, so I put aside, so I still have like 20,000, kind of my saved up, to just get things at really bare minimum. And I have lived 35 years without having to ever buy furniture. So everything is going to be brand. Like, I have to get everything from bed to fridge to washer and dryer.
Yeah. That 20,000, was that your emergency fund?
Correct.
Yeah, I don't want you to use your emergency fund for something that's not an emergency.
So
let's just play pretend a minute. You close on a $330,000 house. You spend your last $20,000 furnishing it. The next day, something's going to go wrong, and you have no money.
Right.
That's why Jay doesn't want you to spend your emergency fund.
So how should I do about how should I go about?
Well, I mean, that was your plan, to move into the house broke.
Yeah.
So that, Dave said it, that was your plan, to move into the house. You're going to have to move very slowly and very methodically.
What do you make?
I make 35 tax free, and I make around like 40 has to be taxed. So I make
75.
like 70. Yeah, around there.
Where do you get tax free income?
From retirement from the military, like disabilities.
Oh, okay.
So what's your what do you bring home each month? Help me out.
Like 5,000.
Okay. So let's see here. And you're completely debt free, or did you buy this house with
$330,000 mortgage?
No. I meant other debt.
Oh, you have other debt?
So I have no other debt.
Okay.
And I finance house $275,000.
Oh, you put 60 down on 330 purchase.
Okay, that's better. Okay, so what this looks like is every month you're going to be doing a detailed budget in order to figure out how much margin do you have to put towards what the most important thing is. So if I'm you, I'm making a priorities list.
The place you live now, do you have furniture in it?
No, I'm renting a room, so everything is furnished. And I'm not sure if that's relevant, but my boyfriend's going to be moving in. And my other question is, it's going to be my house, and he's going to help me pay for mortgage. And I'm trying to pay it within 20 years, and he's going to help me pay for the mortgage. But since it's in my house, and I wonder what is a fair amount that he should pay in? Because at the end of the day, if we don't work out, it's going to be my house, and I don't want to screw somebody over. And what do you guys think is fair?
So you get
that's my second.
Yeah. Okay. So let me back up to the other part first. Okay. You're renting a room and you don't own a bed.
No, I don't own anything at all.
Okay. All right. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to take $5,000 and go buy a mattress and a bed. And I want you to buy a used refrigerator, and I want you to use the laundry mat until you can save up the money and buy washer and dryer. That's going to leave you $15,000 in your emergency fund, and then you're going to cash flow furnishing this place out of your income. So every month or two, you're going to buy another appliance, another piece of furniture, and you're going to pay cash as you go. You don't do this with a mattress, but everything else in the house, go to the rich end of town and go to the garage sale, and you can buy a $9,000 leather couch for $500 at a garage sale in the rich end of town because the lady redecorated and didn't like the color anymore. Okay? And that's how you're going to furnish this place, the first round of furniture. Get a decent refrigerator. That's kind of gets life started. You can go to the laundromat until Christmas, and then you can save up and buy a washer and dryer. If you want to do it faster, you can buy a used washer and dryer and later on upgrade to a new one, all with cash, and sell your used one on Craigslist. Okay? So you're going to $15,000 you have to keep in the account, $5,000 budget to get you started with a bed and a refrigerator and a couple of other items, okay?
Okay.
Does that make sense to you? That way, if you have an emergency, you don't lose your home.
Yeah.
That would be silly.
Because, I feel like, I got a beautiful house, and my mentality
but you took
was
it
like,
all,
oh my God,
you took it all the way to the edge, kiddo. I mean, you left no margin in this deal. I mean, you can't breathe the way you've got this tightened up so tight. Mm-hmm. Then the second piece is, I don't recommend that you ever buy a house or depend on someone that you're not married to pay for your house. And so if you're going to choose to shack up with him, my preference as an old guy who has a couple of daughters, and I know how sometimes people get treated in these situations, is I would say he can't move in unless he got married, because there's kind of that thing, and it's much better for you. You're the one that comes out on the short end of the stick, not the guy.
I thought it was the other way around.
No, you're the one that comes out. It does not go well for the ladies in these situations economically. The economics really suck for the ladies in these things. So, and somehow guys keep talking them into it, but I'm not sure how. So I'll just be old fogey, and you can be mad at me if you want to. I love you, and I want you to win, and I'm telling you the truth of what I would do if I were in your shoes, or what I'd do tell my little sister or my best friend or whatever. He doesn't move in unless he gets married. You run your own life, and if he's a man and wants to step up and serve his spouse, then he can come on board here and we'll go. Aside from that, if you're going to do this, don't depend on him to do it, and then you can just decide. There's not a fair price for shacking up. There's not a shacking up schedule. Mm-hmm. We don't have a schedule for that. There's not a price on it. So you just got to decide, who's paying for the mustard, who's paying for the mayonnaise, who's paying for the bread, who's paying for the lights, who's paying for the water, or what percentage or whatever. And you got a roommate.
It's a roommate
it's a roommate situation. And it's just like in college, that's my mustard. It's the same stuff. And so that's the problem you get into. And it doesn't bode well statistically. The data points don't bode well for your future wealth building in this scenario. And it doesn't even bode well for his future wealth building. There's actually what we call a marital advantage in the statistics out there, in the data. People who are married have an economic advantage over those who are not. The data is slam dunk. It's not even close. So something to consider. I got all up in your business, but you asked, darling. Mm-hmm. So, but as far as the house goes, $15,000 in the account. Get a refrigerator and a bed, used furniture on the rest of it, work your way up with cash flow. What do you think?
I was shocked you gave her the 5,000 out of the 20, if I'm being honest. But
well, I think she's going to go buy a refrigerator. I don't think we can stop her.
Look, Jade Warshaw would have said, you better get you an air mattress and stop playing. I'm not telling her to get a real mattress. You get an air mattress and you get you a college refrigerator. I'm talking about the little guy that goes on the floor, because I want this as a reminder to never do dumb stuff like that again.
Yeah, never take yourself all the way to the edge. Yeah. That's the dumb thing. You took yourself all the way to the edge, and then what should have been a blessing can end up being a curse, and that's what we're afraid for, honey.
Living like a rapper in this big old house.
And no furniture.
With no furniture.
That's how rappers live? I didn't know that.
Giant gold chain.
I didn't know that. Okay.
And no money.
Just learned something. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jade. Look, if you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.